Ask a kindergarten class, how many of you can draw? And all hands shoot up.
Ooh! Yes, of course we can draw.
All of us.
What can you draw?
Anything?
How about a dog eating a fire truck in a jungle?
Sure. How big do you want it?
How many of you can sing?
Ooh!
Yes, of course we can sing.
What can you sing?
Anything? I've become so caught up in my grown-up stuff, it seems I've lost my spontaneity. Not to mention my perspective on living. Every day at my job with my family. But I'm discovering all I really need to know I learned in kindergarten.
About how to live.
What to do?
How to be. It's the sandbox code of ethics, and not some grad school mumbo-jumbo that's had the greatest impact on me.
I learned to share.
Play fair.
Don't hit people.
Don't take things that don't belong to you.
If you hit someone, say you're sorry.
Just to name a few.
Clean up your own mess.
And wash your hands before you eat.
And hold hands and stick together when you cross the street.
Flush.
Live a balanced life. Think some, learn some, work and play.
And sing and dance and draw.
And take a nap each day.
Be aware of wonder. Think of the seed in the paper cup. Who knows why the root goes down and the plant goes up?
But we're all like that. And just as the seed, the goldfish, and the bee will all die someday, well, so will we.
Remember the first words you learned in your Dick and Jane book. The biggest, most important word of all.
Look.
True story.
True story.
True story. Larry Walters.
Our hero. Walters is a truck driver, your average guy. He is sitting in his lawn chair in his backyard, wishing he could fly. The chapter takes place on July 2nd, 1982, and appears on television and in newspapers across the country.
There's old Larry Walters up in the air over Los Angeles, flying at last.
Really getting up there.
Still sitting in his aluminum lawn chair. Only now it's hooked up to 45 helium-filled surplus weather balloons.
Larry had a parachute on, a CB radio, a six-pack of beer, some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and a BB gun to pop some of the balloons to come down.
But instead of being just a few hundred feet over his neighborhood, he shot up 11,000 feet right through the approach corridor to the Los Angeles International Airport! Did we mention that this is a true story?
Most weddings are comedies.
Not that they are intended as such, but since weddings are such high-stake occasions involving amateurs under pressure, something is bound to go wrong.
And if that wasn't enough, the engagement ring was returned to the jeweler for a larger stone. All quietly subsidized by the MOTB. When I say the lady was unhinged, I mean unhinged.
The juggernaut of fate rolled down the road, and the final hour came.
Guests in formal attire packed to church.
Enough candles were lit to bring daylight back to the evening.
In the choir loft, the orchestra gushed great music.
And the mother of the bride coasted down the aisle like an opera diva at a premiere performance. Never did the mother of the bride take her seat with more satisfaction. She had done it.
She glowed.
She beamed.
She smiled.
And she sighed.
Ah.
The music.
In the Solomon Islands, in the South Pacific, some villagers practice a unique form of logging. If a tree is too large to be felled with an axe, the villagers cut it down by yelling at it. I can't place my hands on the article, but I swear I read it. Woodsmen with special powers creep up on a tree just at dawn and suddenly scream at the top of their lungs. They continue this for 35 days. The tree dies and falls over. The theory is that the hollering kills the spirit of the tree. According to the villagers, it always works.
Ah! Oh, those poor, naive natives.
As for people, the Solomon Islanders may have had a point. Yelling at living things does tend to kill the spirit in them.
I am a fragment of a mirror whose design and shape I do not know. Nevertheless, with what I have, I can reflect light into the dark places of this world, into the dark places in the hearts of men, the cold places, and change things in people. Maybe others may see and do likewise. This is what I am about. This is the meaning of my life.
And then he took the small mirror and, holding it carefully, caught the bright rays of daylight streaming through the room and reflected them onto my face and onto my hands folded on the classroom desk.
Are there any questions?
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 There's no way to measure what these fragments are worth. Scattered moments of connection to a life on this earth. Flashes of understanding that can set your soul ablaze and flicker softly through all of your days. Stop now and listen. Do you hear a faint melody? Just outside here, all around us, a great symphony. But nothing in life has the power to inspire like adding your own voice to the mighty choir.
How can we live in the dark when we can be part of that light? How do we capture that spark and reflect it into the